Yeah, Spence Easy. And well, let's get to it. Today we're gonna have like pictures, right? So the agenda. Talk about single mothers and fathers, right? Somebody seems mad. Somebody seems really upset. Whoever wrote this. Eh? If they're smart, they would. If they're smart, they would remove these people from their situation. That would be the smart move. Not only French, but all other foreign countries' bases. It's not okay. It's not reasonable. Mm. Besides, they haven't done anything to improve the situation. Situations have progressively gotten worse, and maybe they should be rethinking something. You know? The thing I like about this channel is that I get perspectives of what is happening in Babylon. Yeah. And it's what we have been doing here. Going against them. So do not be shocked when they attempt to slow the motion down. Okay? Mm? This happened just after he tried to deal with this. Right? Funny, right? So what? This is that narrative control type situation. They tell us things that we already know. We already know that the Americans supported this group here to overthrow a government. They gave them weapons and everything, literally creating the problem. So what are you telling us here? Are they taking responsibility or what? And the bigger question is, who is funding them now? This is that gaslighting type situation. Here's what I think. My issue with AI is that it is just growing without being checked. There are no rules for the game. I'm not saying that it is useless. Modern smartphones literally have a processor that has a neural engine for a long time, so it is part of our life. It's not a new phenomenon. You know, people need to wake up. You know, people. I saw an interview on the TBC. People were asked, you know, what do you know about AI? If you have a smartphone today, I would say 60% of the operations are handled by AI. That's just the reality, and we need to wake up. We need to catch up. Okay, we need to catch up by first knowing the road where we came from. Okay, all of these chips, they have neural engines that learn behavior and patterns and prioritize and manage power. They do all of these things in the background. Okay, and that's part of the problem also. People are not actually aware of what these things we own or rent rather do. We do not. Okay, but they do major judgments in our place, you know. And this has been a slow takeover. It has been a slow takeover, right? It is handling everything else, and that leaves us rather empty, I would say. Wow. You should look at this story and what happened. Talk about this 200-year-old company. Can we sustain a meat company for 200 years? The issue is that people like give up so easily, and you know the leaders let them give up easy. You know, it's like all of those big industries in the past that, you know, would have been incredible right now. You know, just like the Tanganyika Packers situation. It was supposed to be funded, not just for the sake of employment or whatever. It's literally called bailout. You should you should study this phenomenon and understand that no major company that you know of today, the biggest in the world, they were all painfully funded to even exist today. Okay? Funding is crucial. It might hit a rough patch, but we as Africans, we just end there and move on to another thing. But that's not okay. All of these car manufacturing companies, all of them, handset manufacturing, this meat company, you can look it up. At one point, it was supposed to declare bankruptcy, but they say, nah, we're going to keep it open one way or the other. And that commitment, I think, is what is required. Yeah. Going back to that factory ambayo waziri mkuu naambiwa alifungua, kwamba tu ameshindwa kupata maziwa ambayo anahitaji ili kuweza kufanya uzalishaji. Like what? Are you serious? Kiwanda kipo, mitambo ipo, umeme upo, shida ni maziwa, shida ni raw material. Tulikuwa tunasema zamani, tulikuwa tunasema hatuna shida ya raw material, tuna shida ya viwanda vya kufanya hizo raw material zipande thamani. Lakini saa hizi, sasa sijui ndo maendeleo au sijajua. Sijajua, lakini what I'm saying is intervention is required, because we the people consume these things, right? We consume these things, so they are part of our lives, they're important. We have integrated them. We have even become addicted to them. Now they are saying vandals are targeting these sites. Maybe that's why he backed out of his promise of creating more stations. Is that the case? This is the true situation. You know, like I've seen a lot of EVs, man, a lot. And most of them like 400 miles from their measurements. That's the they use 400 miles. Most of them 300, but 400-mile tops. Okay, now for tiny nations like the ones over there in Europe, can be a thing, but not for a nation like ours. This is a pipe dream. Okay, our nation is, Africa is quite big. These maps are they are a lie. They are a lie. Or rather, the technical term they use is projections. So another situation happened over there in our neighbors. So what were they planning to do now? Who are they planning to place in power then? If you find out that, then maybe you might find the people who are actually deterring your efforts. Because if they think taking you out is more important than the war they have going on, then I have questions for both sides. Okay? For you, first the president, why would your people think like this? Because we might come out here and say, it is not justified, but no, we are not properly informed to make that assertion. So there are situations where this action is justified. Okay? Because these people are literally putting their lives on the line and going into battle with the belief that they're doing the right thing, taking the order from the right person. Right? So like, it's concerning to hear that soldiers or police are not supposed to get political. Like, what? Politics literally decides your salaries. It decides when you get your equipment. All of that is politics. So what I think is that this shield was created not to keep the system or the structure of power, but rather to protect corrupt people. You should make sure that you are serving uncorrupt people. It is your responsibility, it is your duty. And we, the people who bought you those weapons that you're holding, the clothing that you're wearing, the salaries, we expect nothing less. So it is important, of course, that you stay on the sidelines to have a perspective, okay, between the politicians and the people, just between there. Sometimes the politicians are the problem, sometimes the people are the problem. But in most cases, it always comes up and people always assume that, the people is always the problem, not the politicians. Nah. You are there to like, be like a big brother to two sisters or brothers. When they fight, you get in between you. You sit over there, you sit over there. What is what? Because regardless, we have to keep on moving, right? So you gotta take up that big brother mantle. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay, that is just like an oversimplification of what is our expectations. What are my expectations? You're actively protecting justice. So do that. Don't protect politicians. That's the issue. And they have been using this agenda, they have been weaponizing this agenda for a long time, you see. So as they can protect the people they have put in power, right? And those people who they have not put in power, they turn around and support the opposition. Just like in the case of Gaddafi, the case of Saddam. All of these cases are good examples. So, the elephant in the room. Let me give you two perspectives. Yeah, we have this perspective, and that perspective. You can look these songs up yourselves. But they generally, the interesting thing about music is that you can use it for back psychology, because people cheer to things that they believe, you know. And this is the situation, and all you have to do is just consume the information, And like I've said, we're gonna talk what is happening to the black people, because we seem to be like the agent of this agenda, because they do want to destroy Israel. They want to destroy the nation of God. Okay? So it's not about whatever they are doing. Okay? That's what's happening here. So, we shall get back to that soon. So, these people are telling us there were 3 choppers flying together in a secure formation. And then one of them got lost. 2 of them made it. The most important craft is the one that was lost. Now, if there are 3, they would place that chopper in the middle. So how did they not see it? And I'm quite sure all of these 3 crafts were in constant communication. So they were rather in a better position to know where it fell. But now, they reached their destination, and then now they're coming back to look for it. Like what? And this is the story that we are accepting, I guess. Okay. All I'm saying is, it stinks. Everybody knows it stinks. From where? People are about to find out. When you're not looking, ladies, this is what is conspiring out there. Now, this is the elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen. The best way I can speak about this, I think, is an example, right? It's an example. So, a parent says, this parent might be called ustawi wa jamii, right? Welfare. This parent bought one toy, and she or he gave it to her or his 2 children in the hopes that this toy will be a means to assist these 2 children, this boy and girl, to learn how to share, right? To learn how to share. Now, after so much battling, like predictable, these two children were in constant conflict. So, in haste to solve this debacle here, the mother went out, the father went out and bought another toy, or rather many toys, and brought them home and gave the children. Now, the question then arises, did the mother or said father facilitate in further division, or did that goal, which was noble and righteous, achieved? That goal of them learning how to share. And I think that's the problem. Okay? In the past, it's like this. A man and a woman, they get in a relationship, they have a child, somewhere along the line they fight. Each go their separate ways. The mother takes the child, always. The father is just left out dry. That's a constant, right? Unless the mother is some sort of killer or prison or crazy mentally. And then the welfare swoops in and tells the man, you are no longer like the father, so you need to pay to support this child. So they pay. Money keeps flowing to the woman. What reason do they have to bring that man back to the house? They don't need him anymore, so they think. They have all this funding for whatever endeavor they have. So it's like the welfare system is sustaining a bad habit. Sustaining a bad habit. And it literally created a situation. I heard this old man saying from the US, he says that in the past, they usually they came to the women and literally implied that, just kick the man out of the house. We can keep them in prison or in the streets or whatever, but mostly in prison. And we can give you this money. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Now, has that helped these people learn to share, or has it facilitated further division? That's the thing that we need to ask ourselves. Whilst that is happening to the black family, all of these other races, they're looking out for the black people. Since the black men are really, really unhappy with the black women and how they're behaving, so they look for other races. And that's how you destroy a nation. At least you attempt to destroy a nation. Sex is in the core of all of this mess. That's what it is. Okay, and there's depth to why I said that statement that day. You people thought I was trying to perverse something or imply something. But you believe me, you some of you are in a position to be counselors to married people. The first thing I would advise you to ask these people about, ask them about their bedroom. Ask them about that. Ask them about that, because that's in the core of everything, right? Husbands leaving their wives because of other women in the bedroom. Why is it that is the reason? Okay, and like, especially for like developing countries like us, we think that, people are just gonna speak up. Men is just gonna go to some organization and say, you know what, my wife hasn't really given me none for like 2 months is now. What? Or my wife puts hands on me, you know, puts hands on me. And when the man tries to protect themselves, the situation is viewed as immediately the woman is the victim. Immediately. And that's the issue that we have here. They have picked up this role, and it makes the situation worse. But this is the real situation here, what you're seeing right now. It's the real situation. Sex is like a tool now. People run with it. They use it. And it's ruining lives. It's not going so good for my guy here. This comes after more and more companies are just laying off people. Thousands. Now, supposedly, he's missing. He's missing. And now, somewhere along the line, his life is at risk. Wow. Now, this is what I was talking about. This evil way type of thinking. See, the situation is people do not understand what happens when people say you need to grow up. The issue is that innocence. What they are literally asking you in all of those times is grow a strong shell, grow a stronger shell. Life is hard. They don't say why, but they just say grow a stronger shell. Over what? Your innocence. Or they look at you as naive sometimes, right? I've seen this over and over. I've seen a lot of married people. Like I've said, I just have this gift. People always tell me their problems. They just do. So I've heard many, many problems. Many problems. People believe they can trust me. So they tell me their stuff. And I've heard a lot of stuff. Okay, I've heard a lot of stuff. To have a picture. And that's why I can say things for certain like that. So, yeah. Good luck with that, baby daddy. Prince Easy signing out. Love you. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Where is the stop button? Here it is.